that's annoying. Good morning. I clearly didn't have the music playing because I didn't hit the right buttons, but hey, at least you can hear me now, so that's fine. Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, hump day. Did you say rabbit this morning? Avocados Diabli? Did you take my advice? Are you going to have good luck the entire month of February? By the way, it's Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. Happy International Women's in Sports Awareness Day. Happy, what else is it? There's a whole bunch of those things going on today. I don't know. But it's all of those kinds of things. And I hope you have a special whatever unit of each other of them. But we're gonna talk about something besides Eliza Bleu today, because I just needed a day off. It's not that there's not more new stuff and new shit going on every day, but I needed a break from that human being. I was gonna say ho, but I can't say that because this is YouTube. I think I just said that. I don't even think of her as that. I just think she's a nope, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not even gonna do it now. I'm not talking about her today. Stop. I just smacked myself in the face. Anyway, so we're going to talk about other things. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that I just haven't got to. It's going to be kind of a whole day of quick hits because I have so many tabs open of shit that I just haven't gotten to, but that some of the news is finally just catching up to that I already knew about. So it's good. At least I haven't talked about it yet because, well, Eliza Bleu I've been preoccupied with Eliza Bleu. So anyway, hope y'all are ready. It's going to be a great morning. I see a lot of people are already here. Johnny, please play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Yes, Queen. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel where we have other people to talk about today because I'm just not going to do it. I'm not even going to say her name again, but I probably will tomorrow because there's new developments every day. But not today. No. It is Wednesday, the 1st of February, 2023, the short month that they give black people. So, because, of course, they're going to give us the shortest month because we're black people and we're most affected by it. So anyway, happy Black History Month. Happy International Women in Sports Day. Happy, I can't even remember what the other ones. I had a list. Wait, where is it? I know I had a list. Here it is. No, that's the wrong one. Did I close the tab? Oh, crap. Well, so much for International Women in Sports Day. But anyway, if you do want to talk about that woman, though, in the links today, I have a good video by somebody going by the moniker of Unofficial Clips, who has more stuff about that woman that I'm not going to talk about today. If you want to talk about or see something about her, it's about it's a 36-minute video. It's a lot of catch up. It actually has a lot of history too. If you really want to get some comprehensive 36 minutes of that woman, you can. I'll have, like I said, it'll be in the clip. It'll be in the thing. After every show, I put it during the outro. I put a single link, the one tab link, second paragraph of the description says everything we did is here, and it'll be you click that link, it'll be one page, links to everything. So if you want to talk about her, there you go. So Anyway, let's say good morning, and then we're going to do the show because, like I said, I got a lot of stuff to get through. It's going to be a lot of quick hits because if I get too in deep, you're not going to get through all these tabs. I think there's almost 40, 40 stories up here, or 40 things, not necessarily stories, but 40 things. So we'll try to get through all of them in roughly 90 minutes. So, shall we? Let's shall. First, in the chat over on Rumble today, Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Thank you for being here. Good morning also to Mike Savage, Jimmy Das Hotep, Simon Wolfwood, and... Did I say Mike Savage? Blarg. I may have, but I forgot the blarg. So there's the blarg. Good morning to you over there. There's 9 people over watching on Rumble. There are several bunches of people over on Twitter, or not Twitter, YouTube, and I appreciate all of you. First in the chat over there was my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony. Yeah. All right. Good morning to you. Also, Avocados Diablo is also over on YouTube. Also, good morning, Lord Stanhope, Simon Wolfwood, Tyrannus, Alexandrius, Tremere Lich, Tyre Alexander, good morning, sir. Plague Dr. Zach, a.k.a. Zach Osborne, Lord Stanhope's in the house, Mike Savage, Blarg. I got to say it on this side, too. Also, good morning to H.B. Lovecraft, Aaron Meredith, let's see. I said Plague Dr. Zach. Rotten Corpse is here, Lord Stanhope. Aquarian Anarchy, good morning, sir. Nice to see you. Thanks for that nice little video. By the way, well, I'll tell you in a minute. I'll tell you in a minute what I'm asking people to do, and if you guys want to participate, you can too. Good morning, TC. Good morning, Scribe Light. Dog Thrapple. Also, good morning to... is that everybody? That can't be everybody. Episcopos is here. Good, nice to see you. 5Z. You know, every time I see that 5Z, isn't that... What is it? I always think of, like, cell phone coverage. But that's not what it is it? That's not the phrase. I don't know. Anyway, silly me. Good. Oh my gosh, there's all kinds of talking over here. What's your talk? Dog day pre-afternoon. Oh, you know what I forgot to do in my tweet to the show today? I forgot to mention that it's still a countdown to episode 1000. Now, let me clarify something. The actual episode number 1000 is going to be on Thursday, the 9th of February. But my 1000 episode celebration will be on Friday the 10th. I'm celebrating 1000 episodes on Friday the 10th. I'm going to have a cast of dozens. I was going to say cast of thousands, but that is not true. Well, maybe I will have a cast of thousands. Here's what I'm trying to do. And I need your help. I need everyone who's going to show up's help. My goal for that day, Friday the 10th, is to have 1,000 people in watching the show simultaneously. Now, I have several people who are going to help me with this, and we'll see if it happens. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on who shows up just to visit, because sometimes the people who visit are the ones who bring a lot of people with them. But I really need help with this. I want to get 1,000 people watching at the same time, sometime during that day, on the 10th of February, because that's my 1000th episode. It's a special day. Come on. Everyone, please, anyone you know, just tell them to bring their friends, bring their neighbors, bring their Twitter followers, bring whoever they can, their YouTube followers, and bring them over to watch that day. Now, I have not decided the exact length of that show, but it is for sure going to be at least 7 hours. I know that from my 9 o'clock my time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern and 7 o'clock Pacific. Okay. Nobody lives in the mountain time, so I don't care. That's just wrong. Oh my gosh. My son lives in mountain time. I should probably say it too. Anyway, I'm going to do a extended stream that day. We're going to go from at least 9 o'clock my time to 5 o'clock my time. So 10 o'clock to 6 if you're on East Coast, 8 o'clock till 5. What? 8 o'clock till 4 if you're in the mountain time. See, I can't even remember mountain time. And the only reason I know Pacific time is because my mother lives Pacific time, so I have to pay attention to that. And scribe, of course. And then, 7 to 3 at least Pacific time. So it's going to be a long ass show. We're going to have fun. I've invited dozens of people to jump in, and some will during the day. And in fact, we're going to do it during the day. We're going to invite people. If I see someone on the internet, I'm like, hey, come on in, come over to the show. Say hi. It's my 1000th episode. We're going to goof around. And then we're going to have people, some people are going to bring stories of their own. Sometimes we're going to just shoot the shit. We're going to talk about whatever's happened in the world, but also just laugh about things that have happened during my 1000 episodes. Like, for example, I say it all the time, my first week doing the show, I had the Covington Catholic kids. I had Jussie Smollett. I was looking back. Oh my gosh, some of the stories that have gone over the last 4 years that have just gone viral. We're going to talk about a lot of the viral stories over the last 1000 episodes. So it'll be a fun day all day long. You can drop in, drop out whenever you want. And it's not a rabid rabbit. Damn it. Gosh, you're killing me. You're killing me, brother. You're killing me. So anyway. Let's just have a fun all day. Oh, Maddie's in the house. I see you, Maddie. And I see Kevin S. and Rick Ashbringer. And who else showed up while I was just doing that? Shrapnel. That's a new name. Well, not. Oh, yeah. Yes. And Jericho Green. I'm going to have him sometime, hopefully early next week and maybe even on the 10th. I've been trying to connect with Jericho Green for a while, and I chatted with him while he on his live stream yesterday, so he's going to join me sometime soon. I'm looking forward to that. I've been wanting to talk to him for a long time. So very good guy, very funny, and he doesn't go for any of the bullshit. So anyway, Shrapnel, thank you for reminding me about that. So, but I probably Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and then also I am rescheduling with shoot, how do you say your name? Shu Abdurrahman, the person who ran in the 5th district for the Republican nomination to run against Ilhan Omar. She's really cool. I'm going to talk to her sometime in the next week. So anyway, it should be a good week. It should be a good week, and then our 10,000th episode is going to be, wait, Boomer Vision is getting worse. What do you mean Boomer Vision is getting worse? What does that mean? James, I have no idea what that means. My monitor's going, you can hear me. You can see me. Is it okay? We're all good here? Yeah. Let's see something here. I'm going to change. Oh, I see. I can't change my monitor. Anyway, I don't know what that means. But anyway, you're going to hear the music in a second. James Colley, thank you for sponsoring the show with that message that Boomer Vision is getting worse. I have no idea what that means, sir. You'll explain it someday. So, anyways, let's get into some news. I know what I did. Oh, by the way, really quick thank yous to people. Jimmy Das Hotep, Swamp Fox Ghost, Scribe Light. And those are all the people who retweeted the show. Please, a reminder, you are the sponsor of the Morning Night Live. I don't have ad reads or anything to do. So just, you're the sponsor. So do me a favor. Hit the like button during the show. Please share the stream. That's the biggest. That's the big one. That's the big one. And if you're watching a replay, put a comment in the comment section. Or if you're watching, if you just happen to be going back, like if I'm talking to you, but you went back and started at the beginning, right? I missed some people. Did I miss James Colley? Who else did I meet? Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I just hadn't scrolled down again yet. So did I miss you, James? I am sorry. Please. Hey, Johnny, do we have any wet noodles over there? Yeah, well, okay. Oh, they're still cooking. All right, well, I'll get one after the show, and I'll make sure to, with a wet noodle, because I miss James. Is that okay? That'll work, huh? Yeah. All right. So anyway, and then, the other thing I was going to mention is, if you, I'm not even going to tell you. I'll just show it to you when I get it. Never mind. I'm just going to do this. So let's do this. Let's get into the news. Wait, let me go back and get out of messages here. I was going to see what was, I hadn't checked Twitter this morning because I used my aggregator. Oh, Eliza's still trending. Holy shit. Oh, I said her name. Don't even say her name. I don't want to get into it. Let's see. Will Smith's trending. What else is signed the petition? Okay, it doesn't look like anything I really. Jimmy Kimmel. Why is Jimmy Kimmel trending? Okay, Jimmy Dore's. We'll do one trending topic from Twitter today, and that'll be Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore's trending, and I know why he's trending. So I'm gonna put this on the screen. He's trending because he was on Tucker Carlson last night, and I really don't watch any cable news, particularly not Fox News. I haven't watched Fox News in 15 years. But I catch clips of Fox News and I catch clips of Tucker Carlson. So Jimmy Dore last night was on Tucker Carlson, and today he's trending on Twitter because a lot of people get mad that he goes on Tucker Carlson, and because a lot of people hate Tucker Carlson, but a lot of people on the left hate Jimmy Dore because sometimes he says stuff that doesn't necessarily, fit with the narratives they want. Jimmy Dore just tells the truth of how he sees it, and sometimes he agrees with, oh my God, sometimes he agrees with some things that people on the right say. And the people on the left get very upset with Jimmy Dore. But Jimmy Dore is probably the most consistent left-wing pundit out there, despite the fact, but he doesn't put up with bullshit. He's like left-wing freedom of speech, that topic, he is spot on because that is kind of a liberal thing, like in the classical sense, right? So anyway, he was on Tucker Carlson last night, and so he says, big thanks to Tucker Carlson for letting someone say this on TV. I would love to bring this message to MSNBC, CNN, NPR, ABC News, but they won't have me. We're going to have to come together to stop the war machine. So Jimmy Dore and Tucker Carlson are both anti-war, but from different ends of the spectrum. And there are plenty of people who are anti-war on the right. Because, well, let's put it this way. We're anti-war without purpose, without defending ourselves, and not just for some of this bullshit, and especially all this sending all this crap to Ukraine. It's okay to question that. It's like, come on. I'm not going to tell you how to celebrate February History Month. Okay. James, thank you again for sponsoring the show. Appreciate it. I don't know why these aren't popping up on my Streamlabs. Usually those pop up on Streamlabs so they can tell me to say them, and they're not. So I guess I don't know. Anyway, so here is Jimmy Dore. Oh, there it is. Here's Jimmy Dore talking about with Tucker Carlson. Here's 2 minutes of Jimmy Dore talking about Ukraine. If it'll play. And let me go full screen on this so you can see it too. I'll make it bigger. Here we go.
We're the ones provoking this war, just like we provoked the war in Ukraine. We are now provoking a war with China. And who benefits? I'll tell you right now. Your enemy is not China. Your enemy is not Russia. Your enemy is the military-industrial complex.
Okay, I'm confused about one thing here, though. Why is Jimmy not wearing his glasses? He wears his glasses on his own channel, and he's not wearing his glasses now. But he's making a point.
Which has been fleecing this country to the tunes of hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars. How many times are we going to have a defense secretary say, hey, we can't account for $2 trillion in the Pentagon again? Which has happened twice now in my lifetime. So again, people are being, the war machine cannot be stopped. Who's running this country? The war machine. It certainly isn't Joe Biden making these decisions. I would like to know who is making the decisions. And I just want to remind everybody.
Now, here's something that I've got to say, too. China's paper tiger, and I'm not scared. Yeah, their shit don't work. I was never, when I was, people used to talk about the military industrial complex, right? And I really, as a younger person, I really didn't pay attention to it. And as I get older, I start looking at how we manage defense and how much we spend on defense. And are we, technologically, we're still so far ahead of most countries, right? Although I do worry about those hypersonic missiles that the Russians supposedly have. But here's the thing. Who is pushing to give all this stuff to Ukraine? So we got to rebuild all this stuff. And granted, there's a lot of defense companies that make a lot of shit. Hello, Eddie Haskell. Yeah, Eddie, I see ya. We'll probably find out who is making the decisions after they get us all melted. That's the part. I'm beginning to think that too. It's getting nervous. Jimmy Dore wiped. Yes, he's. I'm sure Jimmy Dore is wiped. Anyway, here, let's let him finish this point. Then I'm gonna move on.
The United States is the world's terrorist. We just set the Middle East on fire.
I hate it when he starts going on these rants, but we are the kind of the iron fist of the world right now. Not that we're terrorists. I think our intentions, at least in theory, I think our intentions are always good. But of course, I'm sure every country thinks their intentions are good. So sometimes he goes a little farther than I would, but still.
In the last 20 years, and now we're doing a proxy war in Ukraine, which we provoked, NATO provoked, and it was just admitted that we provoked it by the former Prime Minister of Germany, and now we're trying to saber rattle with China, and they're predicting a war. Again, China's not going to invade us. China's not our enemy. We might have an economic war. That's what these are. These are economic wars.
We do have an economic war
in Ukraine. It's about liquefied natural gas and making sure Germany and Russia never come together because we fear Russia's natural resources and manpower, and we fear them getting together with Germany with their technology and their capital. And so that's why we blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. That's why we're doing the Ukraine war. This is all about hegemony, imperialism, and economics. And if there's a Marine somewhere, it's there because they're about to steal some natural resources from another country. As everybody's screaming about what a bad guy Putin is for invading Ukraine, the United States is currently occupying a third of Syria. And which third is that? It's the third that has the oil. And how do I know we're there to steal their oil? Because the President of the United States said so.
All right, so he's talking about when Trump said that. Now, or did Trump say that? Or was it Biden? I can't remember who said that. The problem, too, and if you look at again, I'll bring this up again. And this was when this Ukraine stuff first started taking off. Nate the Lawyer, if you're familiar with Nate the Lawyer, did a really interesting video talking about why the Russians invaded the Donbass region and why they took over Crimea. And because the Ukrainians discovered a great cache of natural resources, mostly oil, in Crimea, and then all of a sudden Russia decides to go and repatriate Crimea. And then the Donbass region, there was a huge reserve of oil found in the Donbass region. And some of the companies there were starting to make some international deals to produce oil in the Donbass region. And lo and behold, oh my gosh, Russia decides to go to the Donbass region. Now, there are other problems in the Donbass region before that. Obviously, there were some separatists there that the Ukrainians were fighting with. So the Russians had a built-in reason to go and try to stop that, because they could say, "Oh, well, our Russian compatriots, not patriots, are being destroyed by all these people in Ukraine, right?" And so they use that into the excuse. But it almost seems like every war in history has something to do with some type of resource, and this one's no different. And so I can see why perhaps some of these countries in Europe and the United States might have a special interest in those wars. Because, there's certain places that get into fights that we don't even care about. We're like, there's places in Africa, this country's fighting with that country, and we don't even put we don't stick our nose in those unless there's some resources involved. So anyway, controversial opinion. I don't give two fucks about anyone not America. You want my blood and protection, you join my union or fuck off. Well, Tyre, I'm starting to have that particular feeling myself. So anyway, real quick, let's see. Those are some other people there. All right, let's move on. I mentioned earlier that it is International Women in Sports Day, and I thought for sure that I'm nervous about scrolling through this thread live, so I'm going to take it very, very slow. But today is International Girls and Women in Sports Day. And this Lexington Sporting Youth says, lucky to have our female players, coaches, and staff leading the way on and off the field. Now, I feel a little bit miffed about this statement. Our female players, coaches, and staff, unless they just mean our female players and coaches and staff, because I coached girls basketball for a while, and I felt like I was contributing to the fitness and mental health of my players by being the greatest coach that they could possibly have in my setting. So I feel very in tune to women and girls sports. I'm surprised, though, that I haven't seen, yes, that Kevin is right there. I'm surprised I haven't seen any ma'ams in this thread. Now, I was scrolling through it early this morning just to go through it, but you never know what's going to pop up in these threads. So I'm going to drop off and just highlight ones that I want to see. Okay, so this is Laurentian University. Never heard of this place. Sounds like it's French, maybe. I don't know. So here's what they say. They say, today is International Women and Girls in Sports Day. We would like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to our women athletes, whether you're on a varsity team, on a club team. Okay, this is probably somewhere in Pennsylvania or something. I don't know. Let's see. Does it say? It doesn't even say where it is. Oh, but there are some. Oh, this has got to be in Canada, like in the Quebec or something. Anyway, take this opportunity to shout out our women athletes, whether you're on a varsity team, on a club team, or just playing for fun. We are cheering you on. Let's go Voyagers. First, I thought that said, let's go Voyeurs. Oh, it's in Sunbury, Ontario. Well, I knew it. It had a Canadian feel to it, and they had a little Frenchness in the old, in their handle there. Let's see, Blackhawks Youth Hockey. Remembering this amazing afternoon at the United Center as we celebrate International Women and Girls in Sports Day. Thank you to all the women who worked hard to make hockey a more inclusive environment for everyone. So far, I'm not seeing. I thought for sure that if I scrolled through this, I would see some ma'ams. I wonder. I'm really curious though how the ma'ams are handling International Women's Sports Day, because I know that they want to be included, but there is a large contingent of people who do not want how can I put this delicately? The women with extra appendages. I'm sorry. Wait, I didn't say that right. Hang on. Let me try it again. The women with extra appendages. I thought for sure I would be seeing one or two in this thread, but I haven't so far. So far, it's just girls. And look, I think it's great. Women who want to participate in sports, I think they need to. If they're not in something else, look, women seem to have a lot more options than men. Did you ever notice? You started to notice that? Because women can, they can choose to do sports, they can choose to do fashion, they can choose to do this, that, and so it's interesting. But I think sports are great for kids, no matter what age. And women and men and whatever. I think everyone should participate in sports sometime in their life. And if they decide it's not for them, great. You find what your niche is. But I think it's great that there's opportunities for girls. My daughter was a high school athlete for part of her high school years, and then she decided that she liked theater better. And So she went into theater, but she was quite the athlete up until that time, and probably could have gone far, but she didn't like the politics of sports. There was less politics in theater, believe it or not. But this also brings me to the idea right here. This tweet, this is the one I was looking for. It is Happy NBA Free Agency Signing Day. Happy International Women and Girls in Sports Day. Happy USWNT, that'd be the Women's National Team Soccer Roster Drop Day. Happy, I don't know what M-Block is. Happy Black History Month. Happy, what? It's LGBTQ History Month? Wait a minute. No. Is that true? Is it? Did they hijack our month too? They already hijack. They've already hijacked our protest status. Let me look this up. This can't be right. It is not LGBTQ History Month. That can't be. Oh, for fuck's sake. We can't even keep our own damn month. We already get the shortest month, and then they add LGBTQ History Month on it? Get the fuck out of here. I just swore, didn't I? Oh, well. Okay, it is in what country? Is it just in Canada? Please tell me that's just in Canada. Okay, here this has got to be a Canadian thing. Happy LGBTQ plus History Month. Recognize the progress flag on display this Pride Month, created by Daniel Kazar. It tributes Black, Indigenous, and people of color and trans folk by including their struggle towards equality with the LGBTQ community. No, you just hijacked our month. You just hijacked my month. Come on, man.
You're a lying dog faced pony soldier.
Man.
I'm very disappointed. Anyway. All right. Did I just close that page? Yes, I did. Okay, we're gonna go back. All right, let's get back into it. And I just wanted to. There's a thread here by Curtis Schoon that I thought was interesting because a lot of people are talking about Memphis. We talked about a little bit about yesterday, but I just thought this one. I saw this thread and it does kind of contain some thoughts that I agree with here. So this is Curtis Schoon. He has a Schoon TV, although I don't know if that TV handle is still up. But anyway, he's a gentleman of melanated variety who says there's a political agenda dead set on vilifying police, but beware. The fix they present will be worse than the problem. That agenda is supported by people so afraid they will forfeit freedoms for safety. We have laws on the books. They will deter some, but not all. People still break laws even under the threat of life without parole or a death sentence. This is their real world. If you want paradise, you will have to die. The duality of life ensures there will be risks and tragedies. There are circumstances involving these high-profile cases involving the police. For the record, every cop who breaks the law should be punished severely. Now, the politicization of these cases ensures they become political currency to facilitate tighter controls in society. Many of you don't mind the tighter controls because you've never embraced the responsibility of adulthood and rely on government, of all things, to keep you safe. You wear a mask when outdoors and believe every word on the idiot box like sheep who are to be led, fed, and shed. I don't trust the state and question every narrative presented like an independently thinking adult, not afraid to trust my own common sense. Forgive me for finding it strange that 5 cops wearing body cams broke the law on camera because that's just what cops do. I don't know what the reason was for this. Was it reckless driving, love triangle, ritual? I don't know, but I damn sure don't expect the promoted narrative to be anything other than propaganda, or dare I say, a psyop. So, words to think about on this fine day. All right, let's move on. Maddie, thank you so much. Dropping a 5 spot in the tip jar via Streamlabs. Then that makes you
the
Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Maddie. dropping a link in the tip jar. Who says, "Oh wait, you know what? Let's have music for let's have music for tips today. Should we have music? We'll have some '80s kind of vibes this month." What the hell? Oh, I'm like, there's a double music there. Okay, I got you. All right, Maddie dropping a 5 spot in the tip jar. Says LGBTQIA plus LMNOP History Month was first celebrated in October 1994. President Barack Obama declared it a National History Month in 2009. So no, it's not a U.S. history thing for February. Or not a us history thing. I think you meant, I don't know what you meant there, but I think that's probably makes more sense. So yeah, now, isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic? Yes, I'm speaking Canadian. That Barack Obama made February LGBT History Month and Black History Month. Couldn't he have waited till March or February or something? A black man prioritized LGBT month on Black History Month. Go figure. Thank you, Maddie, for sponsoring the show. Also, Chicago Mike with a 5 spot over on YouTube Super Chats. Mike says, "I'm jealous. National Hispanic Heritage Month is actually between 2 months, September 15th to October 15th. Oh, well, did you get 30 days? No, you get 30. How many days in September? I don't know. But you do get, at least you get 30 days. You only get 28, sometimes 29. So anyway, thank you for sponsoring the show. I greatly appreciate y'all. If you want to sponsor the show, PDogNight.live, that's the Streamlabs link. It doesn't have anything other than the upper right-hand corner how you can do that. But the nice thing about it is however much, you don't have to spend more to write more letters. But if you don't mind giving Susan 30%, super chats are fine. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the Venmo. I'm happy with the Cash App. Everything you want to do if you want to sponsor the show is in this description down below. Or just click one of those links that pop up in the chat every once in a while. There you go. All right, let's continue. Oh, what's that? U.S. LGBT History Month for us. Yes, I thought so. Oh, it's in October. I thought that was clear. Oh, I see. In the United States, it's celebrated in October. Oh, so that must be some Canadian shit then. Canadians? Anybody? Jaeger? Unacceptable Views? Are you here? Are you even here? I don't even know. Anyway, let's keep going. All right, what else do I got in here? Oh, now here's now this show had a namesake. Wait. Oh no, I have one more thing for what is this? I'll do that one later. That's a good answer, but I'm in later. I wanted to talk about this young lady right here. Now, you might recognize this person. You might not. Her name is Rebekah Jones. And yesterday, I was in one of those Twitter spaces, right? A Twitter space hosted. I know you're going to laugh. The Twitter space was hosted by Ed Krasenstein, Brian Krasenstein, and Dr. Is it Edmund Goo? I think it's Edmund Goo. I think this is his name. And it was a Twitter spaces full of like these left-wing Twitter influencers. So Joe from Jers and oh God, who all was in there? It was like a who's who of left-wing Twitter personalities. Now, there were a couple people in there of the conservative right, and I've tuned in a little bit late, but I did get to go in and talk. And let me just say something about the Krasenstein brothers. As far as much shit as I have given them, and sometimes deservedly, especially their Twitter feeds, right? Because they're clearly just gung-ho left-wing, Biden-supporting, Democrat, money-taking, guys, right? But when you get into Twitter spaces with them, They're very kind. They're friendly, even with ideas that they don't agree with. They're willing to talk to people, and I give them credit for that. They were the space itself for the conservatives that got to speak. They were very respectful, and made points, but they weren't dicks whatsoever. And in fact, I might even try to get them to jump in a week from Friday just for the fun of it, because they're interesting fellows, but they're definitely. They are just 100%. I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but Democrat shills. And because shill usually means a derogatory way, but they are 100% gung-ho Democrat, and any talking point that the left has, they will throw out there, right? Not with necessarily the most educated stance on it, at least as far as I'm concerned, but they toe the line. They're loyal. Okay. So I'm in this Twitter space, and Rebekah Jones was in this space because one of the topics was Ron DeSantis versus Trump, right? So she's in the space. And there's something that Rebekah Jones does, and I've noticed. I've seen her do it on Twitter. I've seen her in a couple of these Twitter spaces. And she likes to make the point, because remember, the state of Florida, she got brought up on charges by the state of Florida. The Florida police raided her home. They found a bunch of stolen information at her home, and she got charged and was going to go to, they're going to go through a trial, and she probably would have been found guilty and gone to jail, right? But during this space, and they got me in just after she got dropped out of the space, but she made the statement that her charges were dropped. Okay, dismissed, excuse me. That her charges against her were dismissed. And she's lying. Sort of. She's lying by omission, okay? Whenever she talks about this, says, well, those charges were dismissed, as if the state of Florida had no case or dismissed her case because she was innocent. And so the main topic of my show today is to debunk that lie. Okay? The charges were technically dismissed. So let's show you the article here in the Miami Herald. And the Miami Herald is no friend of Ron DeSantis. Let's just put it that way, okay? So, former Department of Health data analyst turned whistleblower Rebekah Jones reached an agreement. I'm going to stop right there. Reached an agreement, meaning she had a plea bargain with state prosecutors to dismiss the criminal hacking charges against her. As a condition of the dismissal, Jones admitted she was guilty. Okay? So she had to admit her guilt to have the charges dismissed. Now, let me just say something here. They're not dismissed yet. Okay? Let's go through this article. Amid suspicions that Jones illegally accessed the Florida Department of Health system to send a message on the agency's internal platform, police searched her home on December 2020. In December 2020, a subsequent search of her electronics suggested that she sent a message to 1,750 people, downloaded confidential data, and saved it to her devices, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Jones was later charged with an offense against users of computers and computer systems, computer networks, and electronic devices, a third-degree felony. Jones officially admitted guilt as part of the December 8th agreement. So, she admitted guilt to a felony. The saga began in May 2020 when Jones accused Governor Ron DeSantis' administration of manipulating COVID-19 data after raising concerns about lack of transparency within the agency. She said her responsibilities and duties were taken away. Now, remember, she's not a data analyst. She's just a pencil pusher in the department. But they remember how people in the media were calling her a data scientist. Hilarious. She said her responsibilities and duties were taken away, citing the loss of her position of overseeing the COVID-19 dashboard. The state suspected her of gaining unauthorized access to an employee messaging platform sent to send a group text by using her old login credentials. The state alleged that she instructed her former employees to be a hero and speak up against COVID-19 in a November 10th message. So, let's see. Now I'm going to skip down. So they raided her house. You probably heard all about that. And then she claimed, they were putting guns in her face, whatever. They pointed guns at my kids. So, and the body cam footage did not show that. FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, released about 30 minutes of police body cam footage showing portions of the raid after Jones claimed on Twitter that the agents pointed a gun at my face. They pointed at my kids, which they did not. FDLE denied that agents pointed their guns at anyone when they executed the search warrant. Shortly thereafter, in January 2021, the state issued an arrest warrant for Jones, charging her with 1 count of offenses against user computers, blah, 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 blah. On December 8th, 2022, Jones announced via social media platform Substack that the state attorneys were dismissing the charges against her, contingent in part on her $20,000 payment to police for investigative costs. And she had to admit guilt. It's a plea bargain. And then here it is. Here's the line. Okay. This tells you that it's not dismissed yet. While detailing the terms of the deferred prosecution agreement, she lamented that she had been subjected to an unfair justice system with unchecked powers to intimidate people into silence and compliance. She took David DeSantis, referring to her supporters as thugs, and claimed that his actions were an attack on speech, science, and freedom. Now, here's what the court really did, though. Court documents show that prosecution against Jones will be deferred for 24 months, meaning it's not over yet. Conditioned on her fulfillment of its terms, plea bargain. Among those obligations includes seeing a licensed mental health professional of the state's choosing, so she has to go through a psych exam because she's a nut. Sorry, the people who go through it for legitimate reasons that are not your own fault of your own. Completing 150 hours of community service at a minimum rate of 13 hours per week. Plea bargain. And working regularly at a lawful occupation. Any violation of these conditions affords the state's attorney the right to revoke or modify the conditions of Jones' deferred prosecution. So if she doesn't fulfill any of those things, they can bring her back to court. And maybe because it's a deferred prosecution. It's not dismissed until she completes this. She keeps saying it was dismissed. She is implying when she says it was dismissed, oh, they didn't have a case, or she was not guilty. She had to admit guilt as a part of this plea bargain. So, if you ever happen to come across Rebekah Jones on Twitter or any other social media, or hear her voice or whatever, and she says, yeah, those charges were dismissed, implying that the charges were bullshit, just take your time and remind her that, oh, you mean the plea bargain? You lying. Can I say it yet? You lying hoe. Anyway, all right, now, I said it was going to be lightning around the whole show, and I haven't been doing that very well. Let's see. She invented data. By the very standard of the people who support her, she wasn't engaged in free speech. Yeah, she was lying. Why you lying?
Why the fuck you lying?
So anyway, all right, let's go lightning round now. This is going to be a long lightning round. So let's just talk about, we're going to just go through a few of these. All these articles will be in the link in the second paragraph at the end of the show. I'll update that at the end of the show. Just a few funny things. Suddenly, domestic terrorism charges are a problem now that Atlanta is using them against Antifa. If you missed the news of Atlanta recently, over the past few months, Antifa-aligned activists have occupied the site of a former prison farm where the city plans to build a public safety training facility. Authorities have arrested over a dozen of these Antifa goons and charged them with domestic terrorism. The group, largely from out of town and overloaded with young white people from privileged backgrounds, has camped out on the land under the pretense that they are some sort of forest that needs protection. The protesters against what the left calls Cop City have vandalized offices of the contractor in charge of the project, confronted contractor employees at their homes, disrupted church services where employees of the contractors worship. Oh my God, Antifa punks even firebombed a center for at-risk youth located near the planned facility. So, in other words, they're domestic terrorists, but apparently they don't like being called domestic terrorists. Let's see. What's real funny is here's so now this is hilarious. So these incidents, coupled with Friday's release of the footage of Tyre Nichols' death at the hands of Memphis police, the type of violence that Atlanta's public safety training facility is meant to prevent, led Brian Kemp to declare a state of emergency that allows him to call up the National Guard to deal with threats like these. Charges of domestic terrorists against these people makes perfect sense, unless you are at NBC. The network claims that domestic terrorism charges can be politicized and used against marginalized groups or those disliked by government. Oh, you mean the Antifa terrorists? No, really. What's really funny is that the article proves that the Atlanta protesters are domestic terrorists by citing Georgia law. Here's what they said. A 2017 law defines domestic terrorism as a felony intended to kill or harm people, disable, destroy critical infrastructure, a state government or state or government facility, or a public transportation system, intimidate the civil population or any of its political subdivisions, and change or coerce state policy or affect the conduct of government by use of destructive devices, assassination, or kidnapping. The conviction carries a maximum sentence of 35 years in prison. That's the definition of domestic terrorism? Wow, you could just put up a picture of some of those Antifa jackwads. All right, so anyway, but what these civil rights groups are all up in arms about is calling these people domestic terrorists, either miss or willfully ignore, or what they miss or willfully ignore is the current administration is lining up against politically disfavored groups. So anyway, and that's what, isn't that what Merrick Garland called the people on January 6th? He's calling them domestic terrorists, huh? Well, aren't you guys little fuckers domestic terrorists too? Anyway, you can read the rest there, but it's kind of funny that they're whining about it, you little whiny bitches. Bombshell, the new next article, Bombshell, White House misled the public about the FBI search of Penn Biden Center. Now, this is funny. So, remember when Katrine or Latrine or whatever the hell her name is, Jean-Pierre, was saying that, the FBI, or they went into, they said the lawyers were searching his closet at the Penn Biden Center and found something, and they immediately turned it in, and they turned in everything, and the search is over, right? Well, not so fast. Apparently, the day she said that, the FBI was still searching. So she said they had given up everything. They gave up everything. No, that's not what happened. the FBI was in there, I guess, another day or two of searching after she said that, and apparently they found more documents in the Biden Penn Center. Now, I don't remember that being reported. I remember they found more documents at Biden's home the second time they went there, but apparently they're finding them. Well, they're just finding shit everywhere. So there's a whole article about that, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Moving on. Also, are any of you really wondering what is the Biden Penn Center? In fact, the American Spectator decided to ask that question because a lot of people are wondering. It's a think tank? You mean a Joe Biden think tank? Is that like the shallowest tank on the planet? I'm just asking, because that is really, really wild that Joe Biden has a think tank named after him. So if you're like me, this is what the author says. If you're like me, you've only recently heard of the Penn Biden Center at the University of Pennsylvania, generously described in the press as a think tank.
You know the thing.
My ignorance is instructive. You see, I'm somewhat of a connoisseur of think tanks. Some people are connoisseurs of the arts, food, wine, fine wine, and even good cigars. But I, dear reader, have the odd expertise in think tanks. I've worked at, written for, and even written about think tanks. I've given lectures at lectures about think tanks in grad schools, describing these distinctive entities, left and right and center. I actually began my professional career at a think tank, the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Next week, I speak at the Heritage Foundation. I've been a fellow at the Hoover Institution and the Institution of Faith and Freedom at Grove City College and countless state and local think tanks. Now, if you'll indulge me a bit more, I can relate an anecdote about this strange career path I recall. Okay, I don't want to hear the anecdote. But anyway, here's what the hell is a think tank, and all of which is a perfect segue into the Penn Biden Center. Given my over 3 decades of think tank experience, I hereby assert definitively with no embarrassment that I have never heard of the Penn Biden Center until it exploded into the news. I am certain that that's more a product of the Penn Biden Center than anything lacking in my studious cranium. To borrow from my papa, I found myself wondering, what the hell is the Penn Biden Center? Anybody else wondering? Anybody? Wait. The Penn Biden Center is less of a tank and more of a kiddie pool. Ah, spot on. Now, so I ventured to the website of the Penn Biden Center for Diplomacy and Global Engagement. I'm sorry, the name is funny to me, knowing who the namesake is. Alas, I remain even more in the dark. I found a few articles and what seems like press releases. I found no reports or policy papers, which is odd because such is the main product of a think tank. I did, however, find Joe Biden everywhere. Biden's grinning mug is splashed all over the thing. When you first open the website, you see Biden. When you click on the first heading labeled, "We're focused on," you're assaulted with some mindless mishmash, how appropriate, about advancing the dialogue of internationalism. No, I do not want more internationalism. I'm just saying. The viewer is greeted by, surprise, 2 photos, both of Biden. The first photo, quite appropriately, old Scranton Joe and Chinese Xi taking a friendly stroll together at some bridge near Beijing. Hey, that's why they call Joe Beijing Biden sometimes. I say appropriately because, as readers know, the only thing maybe worth knowing about the Penn Biden Center is its possibly shady connections with Xi and China. That being the case, I'm sort of surprised that whoever runs the website left that photo posted. Then again, the academic world moves very slowly. Perhaps they aren't on sabbatical. He goes on talking about what we're focused on, the advancing threat to the liberal international order. Is that like the New World Order? I'm afraid of that shit. And engaging a new generation. Yes, the one that you want to make the entire generation trans. I don't know. And then if you click on our vision tab, it takes you to center mission statement. Here's the mission statement. It includes with a paragraph about the group's grand namesake, Joe Biden. Throughout his decades of public service, the center's namesake, Joseph R. Biden Jr., has fought to secure American and global leadership by defending and advancing the liberal international order. The center will bring President Biden's lifetime commitment to public service to its every endeavor. Oh, Lord, it's griftoholic-o-matic, some shit like that. Okay. I think of the short answer to this question, what is the Penn Biden Center? Oh, I don't have that clip anymore. In the words of my cousin Vinny, it's bullshit. Anyway. All right, real quick. Thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show. Oh, I don't have any music ready. Here we go. There we go. Chicago Mike dropping a big bullet in the tip jar. And Mike, Mike, you are
the new
Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Chicago Mike, who says, today's episode is brought to you by the A&E show Storage Wars. In today's episode, we open up a storage unit and find more Joe Biden's documents. Yes, they were auctioned off, and I won the lot. Thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show. Stop the music. Okay, there we go. All right, thank you, Chicago Mike. Moving on. I am going very slowly. New low, Hunter Biden withheld Hunter Biden withheld an employee's pay until she let him watch her shower. Do I even need to read this article? Do I need to read it? It's here. It's in some text found on the laptop from hell. More fun was found on Hunter's laptop from heaven involving a young assistant Hunter was romantically involved with. Text show that Hunter demanded the impecunious coquette FaceTime with him so he could watch her shower and do what she does when she's alone. Excuse me. Hunter demanded that the impecunious coquette FaceTime him so he could watch her shower and do what she does when she is alone. If she wanted her pay. Messages show it took him several months to send the woman her wages. Okay, enough of that shit. Oh my God. Boy, oh boy. There's something new every day. You can read that one if you want to. Okay, next. Also, Hunter Biden's painting apparently is those paintings he was selling for, well, they listed them at $500,000 a piece. Well, they're not selling for that. I don't think he's getting any takers, and it's not, let's just say he's not making enough to pay his pending legal bills. He's considering launching a legal defense fund after underwhelming painting sales. You know what? He could probably just do launching a legal defense fund, and all these idiots will be glad to contribute. Holy shit! What's going on here? Okay, we're good. Hunter Biden's is in financial turmoil after his painting sold for less than the six-figure price tags estimated by his gallerist, who previously spent time in jail for making terrorist threats. The underwhelming sales have led Biden to consider launching a legal defense fund to help pay his mounting attorney's bills stemming from a federal tax crime investigation and congressional inquiries into his foreign business dealings. The Washington Post reported. So I'll even click that. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to close that because I hate the Washington Post. Anyway, yeah, apparently he was trying to sell paintings for $500,000 a piece, and he's not getting that. And so Hunter Biden needs money. I thought he could just call up his buddy in Ukraine. Oh, wait, they're in the middle of a war. Never mind. He'll have to, he'll launch a legal defense fund. And he'll get millions and millions of dollars from idiots. Next, Project Veritas claims YouTube Insider leaked urgent guidance document distributed to employees handling the Pfizer expose. Project Veritas claimed on Monday that YouTube officials distributed a document to their employees on how to handle the investigative journalism nonprofit's bombshell video on Pfizer that was released last week. The video from Project Veritas went viral, receiving over 20 million views despite being banned from YouTube. In that video, a man identified as Jordan Walker, Pfizer's Director of Research and Development, Strategic Operations, mRNA scientific planner, divulges that the company has allegedly considered mutating COVID-19 through direct evolution. Now, I don't know if this is true, and I'm not claiming it's true, but this got pulled off of YouTube for being medical misinformation, and I'm not agreeing with it or disagreeing with it. In fact, I am just disavowing everything that guy said because he's an asshole, and he wanted to beat up what's his name, James O'Keefe. But the group's Twitter account claimed that a YouTube insider leaked urgent guidance to handle the Pfizer video effectively immediately as of January 27, 2023. The clip loaded by Project Veritas featuring the Pfizer official. Oh, this is the right here. Okay, there's a whistleblower at YouTube that gave him this. Okay, what's it say? Here it is. It says the group's Twitter account claimed that a YouTube insider leaked urgent guidance, okay, quote, a clip uploaded by Project Veritas featuring a Pfizer official is rapidly spreading on the platform. The document attached to the tweet reads, the video, when uploaded in its entirety, contains a timestamp that violates the COVID-19 vaccine misinformation policy for making a categorical claim that COVID-19 vaccines are ineffective and should therefore be removed unless it contains sufficient EDSA or CRC, whatever that means. So, and then James O'Keefe said, for those who don't like the video having 30 million views, ask yourself, why does Project Veritas even have a mission? If YouTube weren't taking down our video and large multinational corporations weren't telling journalists not to cover stories, there wouldn't be a need for people like me. Yeah, because there used to be journalists who would go against the pharmaceutical companies, but not anymore. Anyway, oh, this is funny. The nonprofit rented a tractor parked outside Pfizer's headquarters in Manhattan on Tuesday, which displayed the bombshell video on the side and a picture of Walker on the back underneath. Oh my gosh, that's some good trolling. Look at this. They parked this right outside of Pfizer. Oh, I'll read that. So they rented a truck and right outside of Pfizer's headquarters, playing the video. Oh my gosh, that is some class A #1 trolling. That's hilarious. Hello. Tex AG, what's up? Nice to see you. Nice to see you there. All right, and also, who else showed up? Somebody else showed up. All right, next. That's hilarious. The New York Times is saying they're ditching objectivity in the name of diversity. I'll read you a key paragraph here. Former executive editor of Washington Post Leonard Downey Jr. and former CBS News president Andrew Hayward interviewed over 75 media leaders to gauge how the industry views the concept of objectivity. The media figures argued that journalists should include their own beliefs, biases, and experiences to convey truth, and that journalistic objectivity was either unrealistic or undesirable. Objectivity has got to go, said Emilio Garcia Ruiz, editor-in-chief of the San Francisco Chronicle. Quote, increasingly reporters, editors, and media critics argue that the concept of journalistic objectivity is a distortion of reality. They point out that the standard was dictated over decades by, wait for it, male editors in predominantly white newsrooms. Oh no!
You're fucking a white male!
And reinforced their own view of the world, Downey Jr. wrote. They believe that pursuing objectivity can lead to false balance or misleading, both-sidism, in covering stories about race, the treatment of women, LGBTQ+ rights, income inequality, climate change, and many other subjects. And in today's diversifying newsrooms, they feel it negates many of their own identities, life experiences, and cultural context. Well, guess what? If you are only up in your head up in your own ass, you're not going to be seeing anyone else's ass. And maybe you might not see part of the world that you don't normally see. So maybe learning to at least how to feign objectivity will make you a better rounded news reporter, you dumbass. God, I hate these people. See, now everything's about me now. Get it? Me. Go fuck yourself. Next, in the Washington Free Beacon, the New York Times has finally found a scientist it doesn't like. She's the one who doesn't want to rip out your gas stove. Oh no! On paper, Dr. Julie Goodman is exactly the kind of seasoned scientific expert the New York Times would typically venerate. But because she received her PhD in toxicology, oh my God, a woman with a PhD? Who'd have thunk it? From Johns Hopkins University, I always say that wrong. She taught at Harvard School of Public Health. She served as a cancer prevention fellow at the National Cancer Institute. She's now affiliated with both the American College of Epidemiology and the Academy of Toxicological sciences. She believes in the science. She blinded me with science. There's just one problem. Goodman doesn't think the federal government should come into your home and rip out your gas stove. In her expert, they love their experts, in her expert opinion, studies linking the suddenly controversial appliance to childhood asthma are flawed. Oh, no! Lights, yeah! They just don't justify dramatic action. Goodman's evidence-based... Okay, so anyway, the New York Times is not happy with her. You can read the rest of this, but... oh, my God, she told the truth bomb. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, here we go. Next. It's CNN. This is CNN. At a 9-year ratings low. Yes, CNN sucks. Oh, CNN sucks here? Hey, Rod Line, I see you. What's up, brother? CNN has seen better days. The former cable news powerhouse has seen ratings drop at a rate not seen in nearly a decade, and despite being under new management, is still struggling to attract viewers. Aww. So sad, CNN. Anyway, you can read that. Does anyone need me to read that one? I don't think so. Real quick, thank you, Maddie, for sponsoring the show. And Maddie, again, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Back in the lead. Maddie says, funny when I covered the news in an objective fashion, thus allowing people to think for themselves, a lot of people started turning to me for information. Gee, it's like objectivity adds to credibility. What do you know? Yeah, that is certainly the truth. Thank you, Maddie, for sponsoring the show. Sorry I didn't put music to that one. I forgot. Okay, I got to go a little faster because I'm running out of time. Let's go here in Breitbart today. Donald Trump shreds fake news media in a series of videos. Not reporting with credibility has its consequences. Maybe I can just work on my time. Let's see this, the first one of these.
The fake news media like CNN, MSDNC, which is sometimes referred to as MSNBC, the Washington Compost, which is sometimes referred to as the Washington Post.
As if he has to
and the
say who they
New
really
York
are.
Times are doing really,
now
really...
he blew it. He blew it. Okay, I know I've been talking over it. I know you can hear what he said. Unacceptable views in the house. Okay, when he said the Washington Compost and MSDNC, he forgot to do the New York Slimes. The New York Slimes. It's the Washington Compost, MSDNC, the Washington Slimes, and the Clinton News Network. This is CNN. Anyway, he laughed because CNN's closing their building in Atlanta. He just savages the media here. If you don't watch, the clips are in the clips are here, right here in the article, which will be in the link in the end of the show. I'll update that link in the description. One click, list of links. There you go. All right, next. Gee, Donald Trump savages the media. Shocker. Next, so remember I told you that last week that the Biden administration basically shut down this gigantic mine, this reserve of, what is that, 95% of the United States nickel, and I can't remember what the other was, are in this mine in Minnesota. The Biden administration blocked them even doing a survey on possibly opening up that mine to mining, which, you need electric vehicles, you need a lot of different minerals, right? And the Biden administration blocked it, so now we're going to be relying on China for those particular, those particular minerals, right? Well, now they blocked another one. Biden administration blocks mining of the world's largest undeveloped ore deposit as it pushes copper-heavy EVs and wind turbines. This one's in Alaska. The Biden administration's Environmental Protection Agency issued a final determination that will block the mining of necessary material for electric vehicles, despite pushing automakers to ensure that EVs make up 50% of all vehicles sold in the country by 2030. A determination will prevent the further mining of 1.4 billion, with a B, tons of copper, gold, molybdenum, whatever that is, silver and rhenium from the area, according to the Army Corps of Engineers. A standard vehicle uses 18 to 50 pounds of copper, and an EV powered by a battery requires 85 to 183 pounds of copper, with copper demand expected to increase by 1,700 kilotons by 2027, according to the Copper Development Association. So this is a deposit in Alaska. So they're just, you know what? They're demanding you buy these stupid cars that don't work in cold weather. And I'm not buying one in Minnesota. I don't care what you say. I'm driving my truck, my gas-powered combustion engine big-ass truck, because I need it to carry shit. And I'm not buying one of these electric vehicles. Look, I have all those Ring camera battery doorbell things. And that thing, because of the winter right now, because it was 16 below when I got up yesterday morning, and that thing drains out like so fast in the winter. Now, summer, it can last the whole summer. But in the winter, I'm taking that damn battery out and charging it like every week because of the cold. And, speaking of CNN sucks, the most redundant name on the internet, welcome. So, you notice the Canadians aren't right now, well, not yet, because the Canadians try to do everything they do in California and New York, just like our Minnesota governor. Notice they're not demanding that you have electric cars up in Canada yet. Yeah, that would be stupid. So anyway, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my hind parts, and they are requiring that. That would be something Trudeau would do, even though he probably doesn't have to drive himself anywhere. And I'm sure even if they made some mandates on electric vehicles in Canada, he would say, well, I need to be able to get around, so we're going to use this internal combustion limo because I am the most important person in Canada. So you enjoy your electric vehicle, and I am going to just go ahead and be chauffeured around in this, and then I will fly to Davos for the what do you call it, the climate summit, and then I'm going to go to Cuba to visit my dad's gravesite, and then I'll be home on that 25,000 mile round trip flight that produces as much carbon as the entire province of Ontario. So I'm special because I'm Justin Trudeau. That was my best Justin Trudeau imitation. I don't even know it's close because I don't really know what Justin Trudeau sounds like, but I tried, okay? Anyway, Biden administration, again, they want you to buy some shit that requires a lot of minerals and iron and ores and shit, but they're not going to let you mine it here. So who are we going to be dependent on? Well, China.
China is asshole.
Where they will be mining it in China and in Afghanistan and in Africa and everywhere else that they're starting to take over. Yay. Next, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is pledging a lawsuit over outrageous environmental rule. Oh, what is this one? I didn't read this one. I thought I opened it. I never read it. The U.S. Chamber of Congress will sue the Securities and Exchange Commission if it goes forward with a rule requiring companies to speculate about how climate change could impact their business models. Some members of Congress and outside groups have trained heavy fire on the trade organization, a long fixture in GOP circles, over perceived support of left-wing social issues. Others have expressed frustration with the Chamber's endorsement of over 24 Democrats in the 2020 election. So, hey, they got what they asked for. They wanted Democrats in charge because they hate the guy with the funny hair. Well, guess what? FAFO. You get what you pay for. Let's see. So, despite those objections, the business group remains in agreement with the GOP on a host of regulatory and legal issues. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce Executive Vice President and Chief of Policy Officer Neil Bradley told the Daily Caller in a recent interview. Most notably, Bradley pledged to sue the SEC over the climate disclosure rule. They did, which should ultimately go into effect. They didn't follow APA, Administrative Procedures Act, rulemaking. They were capricious in their rulemaking. They exceeded their statutory authority. They've been put on notice that they exceeded their statutory authority, he explained in a preview of their legal strategy. This fight is playing out right now in the comments, everything that we're doing with an eye toward litigation. So here's what it is. It's the proposed rule which requires businesses to project the impact of future unknown climate disasters on their finances. So they're forcing companies to basically they're telling companies they have to write a book report on why climate change is going to affect their business and how it's going to affect their business, even though they have no idea what the climate change is actually going to be. The Securities and Exchange Commission is demanding that. Okay. And the Chamber of Commerce, who got what they pay for, Democrats in mostly control of Congress, are fighting Democrats on that. Well, thankfully, we don't have a Democrat House. All right, moving on. I got to get through these real quick. What's that? I just saw, Don Julio is in the House. Good morning, sir. Meet the liberal climate scientist Biden tapped to serve on his intelligence advisory board. Okay. Brown University's Kim Cobb entered acute mental health crisis following Trump's 2016 win. Oh my God, that's actual. She had literally a clinical Trump derangement syndrome. And President Joe Biden's latest addition to the prestigious Board of Intelligence Advisors is a liberal climate scientist who said she experienced an acute mental health crisis and could not get out of bed following the 2016 election of former President Donald Trump. I don't need to read any more of this. She's a nut job. Oh my God. Brown University climate scientist Kim Cobb, Intelligence Advisory Board, announced in a press release, blah, blah, blah. While past presidents have used the board to probe high-profile national security threats and intelligence failures, it's unclear whether Cobb will be able to stomach such sensitive and unsettling information. Yeah, because she couldn't get out of bed after Trump was elected. Who? Oh my God. This is not a place for an environmentalist nut job. Oh my God. Okay, we're going. I got to keep going. Joe Biden ended Title 42 border barrier on May 11th. Didn't the Supreme Court block this, him ending it? In practical terms, Title 42 barrier is almost meaningless because it's being used to delay a declining share of the migrants that Biden officials are welcoming, said Mark Krikorian, director of the Center for Immigration Studies. But Title 42 will end on May 11th, and it's going to create a PR crisis for Biden's deputies and GOP legislators who are trying to hide the growing economic damage to voters from the unpopular bipartisan policy of mass migration. Well, I don't know if it's a bipartisan policy. Illegal immigration is not a bipartisan policy. What are you talking about? Anyway, you can look. It'll be in the links. I got to keep going. Abbott has created his own border czar in the state of Texas to accelerate border wall construction and make the state's least desirable place for illegal immigration. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced this week that he has created a new position in his administration to battle President Joe Biden's continued illegal immigration crisis on the U.S. southern border. The announcement comes after the U.S. Customs and Border Protection had 251,487 encounters with illegal aliens last month. 251,487. That's almost a half of the year that they encountered during President Trump's last year as president. Almost half of the entire year encountered in 1 month. And when they say encounters, that means they wave at them and watch them come on in. They might arrest some. They might actually vet some, but I don't know where they're doing it because, oh my God, that's 10 straight months of 200,000 illegal alien encounters per month. So Texas is taking some of this into their own hands. Now, there's going to be a fight, I'm sure, federally against Texas because they don't like it when governors take this under their own wing. And so it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to try to get the courts to block what Texas is doing. But Texas is getting killed with this stuff. They're sending maybe a 50 or 100 here and there to other states, but they're still getting out of 250,000. Yeah. Oh, they got mad because a bus of 50 of them showed up in New York City, or a bus of 50 showed up at Kamala Harris's house. Well, if you're getting 250,000, now granted, they're not all in Texas, but a large number, probably a majority of them are coming through Texas. What? They got to get this shit in hand. But P-Dog, they see more fentanyl under this administration than the last. I wonder why that is. Yeah, because there's a shit ton more coming through. Thank you, Shrapnel. That's true. All right, headlines, quickly. Black Florida Democrat sides with Ron DeSantis on AP African American Studies course. I think it's trash. Oh, no. Leon County Commissioner Bill Proctor, an African American Democrat, has sided with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over the governor's decision to block a woke AP African American Studies course from being taught in the state that was being developed by the College Board. Yeah, the College Board has already said that they're going to look at this course because, like, there's I think there were 5 units in the course, and really only one of them had anything to do with actual African American history. Most of it is like African American Marxism and the gay and queer African American experience and this and that. And it's like, come on. Now again, it's not, and also people saying, oh, you don't want to teach African American history. No. Let's back up here. The course is called AP African American Studies, not history. Okay? And so these courses are really, at least this particular course, they were looking at the kind of the synopsis, syllabus, whatever you want to call it, of this course. And 3 of the 5 units basically broke Florida law. Okay? And so the College Board is re-looking at the AP American History course to fit within the the standards that Florida has asked for. That's not look. It was a big course on how to be an activist and political and political shit instead of actually learning it. Instead of learning African American history or whatever. So or even asking big questions that are maybe if African American studies. Okay, let's talk about issues they're in the community, but this is an indoctrination course, so they said nope, you can't do that here. And now this particular commissioner, Bill Proctor, a black man, a Democrat, is probably going to get he's probably going to get savaged in the media. So good luck, sir. Anyway, also DeSantis announced a war on college diversity funding and deadweight professors. He announced that the state of Florida would scrap diversity, equity, inclusion funding. From public universities and increase scrutiny toward underperforming professors, or just professors teaching bullshit. Look, the problem with the move for diversity, equity, and inclusion is there aren't enough to go around. So if you're a competent professor of color, you should be just raking in the money from whoever the highest bidder is, because they need you so bad, because all these schools want diversity, equity, inclusion, but there are not enough people to go around to teach the courses they want you to teach. So I'm sorry. I hate, this is the capitalist in me going, I should probably go take a course on that so I could just get qualified to be a college professor, because I would sell that fact that I have some melanin in my skin and I could go make a shit ton of money because, whatever. But that's just wrong. Anyway, so the DEI programs, which are kind of weird and kind of, I hate the term reverse racism, because it's racist racism. It's just it's as if somebody who has the qualifications to teach something should be able to teach it. Shouldn't matter what the color of their skin is. I'm just saying. I mean, that's not all it is when they talk about that, but that's my 2 cents. Okay, let me move on to other headlines. The university ban on cheating, plagiarism, unfairly targets minority students. Oh my God, I forgot I had this one in here. So a Princeton University student argued in a Sunday Night Opinion article that the school's honor code unfairly impacts racial minorities, citing parallels to the U.S. criminal justice system. The Ivy League school's undergraduate honor code lays out standards for student conduct that all undergraduate students must abide by and prohibits students from plagiarizing or cheating, according to its website. Emily Santos, author of the op-ed and Princeton University student, likened the code to the United States criminal justice system to propose that it disadvantages minority students. Oh, no! Oh, my God. Are you saying that minority students cheat more? What are you saying, young Miss Santos? Princeton's honor code, tasked with holding students accountable and honest in academic settings, mirrors the criminal justice system in its rules and effects, Santos wrote. It is harmful to the entirety of the Princeton community. The fear it instills in students fosters an environment of academic hostility, but it is often most damaging for first-generation low-income students also belonging to racial minorities. Why? Why? Are you saying that students of, what did she say, first generation low income or racial minorities need to be able to cheat? What is your, please tell me where the white supremacy touched you, dear. A student at Princeton University writes that students' rule against plagiarism unfairly targets minorities just like the criminal justice system. Next, pro-life group blasts Biden administration for considering abortion a public health emergency declaration. Yeah, so me and my abortion politics probably are not consistent, but pro-life groups blast the Biden administration for falsely treating pregnancy like a disease after Axios broke the news on Tuesday that the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is weighing the possibility of declaring a public health emergency over abortion. Can you see where that doesn't quite make sense? Biden's abortion-obsessed administration wants to basically declare martial law to take control of our society with the same healthcare regulations used to control Americans during the height of the COVID crisis. This is an abuse of the process that was created to save lives, not to end them, President of the Student for Life Action, Kirsten Hawkins, said in a statement to Brian. Look, making it it's almost the opposite of a public health emergency. That's a personal choices emergency and has nothing to do with the government. Oh my God. Biden-Harris is considering declaring a public health emergency in an attempt to expand abortion on demand until birth nationwide. Now, speaking of which, my state of Minnesota has just passed one of the most, I would say, freewheeling abortion laws in the country, basically allowing abortion up until birth. Literally, it says, today we are not just codifying Roe versus Wade Doe versus Gomez, as the author indicated. Senate Minority Leader Mark Johnson of Grand Forks lamented after the bill passed the state Senate on Monday. We are enacting the most extreme bill in the country regarding youth sterilization, late-term abortions, and public viability for a vast array of new reproduction rights. So basically, this is the bill they did in Michigan, which is, I think, H.R. 3 or something like that. They've passed in Minnesota. Basically, there are no restrictions on abortion up until birth. The same thing with also enshrines the use of puberty blocks and shit like that. Let's see. The decision of the court, the upholding of our fundamental human right, are only as strong as the judges that uphold them. We have a duty to answer to call on Minnesotans to truly protect those reproductive freedoms and enshrine them not simply in case law, but in our statutory law. These are the values. This is the practice of Minnesota. This is what we believe. So that's the bill's author, Senator Jennifer McEwen, claiming the bill enshrines permanent abortion access across the state, no matter what state or federal courts may decide. And then the PRO Act means a right to abort any baby for any reason at any time up to birth. It means that the elective killing of a human being in utero is perfectly legal even in the third trimester of pregnancy, when the child can feel excruciating pain and could live outside the womb. It means that parents have no right to know when their teenage daughter has been taken to undergo an abortion. Governor Walz's absolute abortion policy puts Minnesota in the company of just a small handful of countries around the world, including North Korea and China. Yeah, it is. It's really, I mean, look, and I'm one who, again, you know, my stance, I think abortion should be legal in the early phases of pregnancy prior. In fact, I'd rather have birth control be, prominent, and even, you know, things that stop the, implantation of the fertilized egg. I don't have a problem with that, but boy, once you get past this few weeks, several weeks, then it's just a barbaric practice of killing a you know, that so-called, they want to call it a fetus. The reason they don't want to call it a baby, because that would make it sound really bad. And there is a point there. It really is. I don't know that point. But I also understand the agony that people can go through, you know, that they're not ready. But sorry, not not beyond a certain point, and Minnesota doesn't have a certain point anymore. Literally, they don't have one up until birth. It's weird, and it's grotesque, and it's barbaric. Moving on, Illinois school worker allegedly stole $1.5 million in food, mostly chicken wings, from the district. This food service. This lady got arrested for stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings. That's a sister right there. You know it. You got to read that yourself. Somebody tweeted about it this the other day and said, were they bone-in or boneless chicken wings? To which I replied, excuse me, you've been fooled. There is no such thing as a boneless chicken wing. So anyway, $1.5 million in chicken wings you stole from the school district. That's some good eating right there. Anyway, DeSantis did a clap back on Trump on COVID criticism, saying, I got reelected. I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't care if it's DeSantis. I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care if it's Nikki Haley. I'm not voting for anyone related to the Biden administration or Democrats. Anyway, you can read that one yourself. There's a few more. George Santos released a statement on stepping down from committee assignments. What the hell did this jackhole say? Let's see, he said, with the ongoing attention surrounding both my personal and campaign financial investigations, I have submitted a request to Speaker McCarthy that I be temporarily recused from my committee assignments until I am cleared, Santos said in the statement. This was a decision I take very seriously. So he's going to stay out of committees until up to the time he might be arrested or kicked out of Congress. So we'll see what happens with George Santos. Yeah, that's the ticket. Next. AOC given a key position on an oversight committee. Oh, my God. That is a terrible picture. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Excited and humbled to share that this evening I was selected to serve as Representative Raskin's number 2 on the House Oversight Committee. Oh, my God. By the way, Representative Jamie Raskin, as much as I can't stand him, he is going through some cancer treatment right now. He says... and he's starting to lose his hair and shit. And I think Kevin McCarthy, I don't know if this is true, but people are saying that Kevin McCarthy was demanding that he take off this bandana that he's wearing on his head because he's losing his hair. I think that's stupid. And, I get it. You want to have certain protocol in the House of Representatives, but I wish Representative Raskin nothing but good health and hope that everything he goes through. I don't have ill will towards him, even though I think he's a bit of an asshole. But he's a fellow man, and I wish him the best. But the fact that he made Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, number 2 on the House Oversight Committee. Holy shit. That's hilarious. I mean, and this picture, good Lord, what the hell's going on? I sure wouldn't want to look down and see that. Did I say that out loud? Okay, never mind. Also, okay, I gotta go. Here, will Kamala get ousted as the crown princess of neoliberal state? That's a whole nother story. Her future's doubted by her own party. Yeah, look, if something happens to Joe Biden and she becomes the president, which I predicted, and I don't mean bad necessarily, just that he steps down for some reason, I don't think she's going to continue on. Too many people are going, this woman's nuts. So, interesting article. In the Daily Wire, Nikki Haley to formally announce that she's running for president. Oh, my God. That's going nowhere. Next, Senator Mike Lee is declaration of war authorization for military force needed to continue giving weapons to Ukraine. Gee, these cowards aren't even thinking about that, but that would probably be the right thing to do. But they'd rather do proxy bullshit. Moving on. In Breitbart, Joe Biden sends tanks to Ukraine. We already talked about that last week. And when doing so, remember when he used to say, what did he say? That sending tanks to Ukraine would be like called World War III. Here it is, Biden last year. The idea that we're going to send in planes, tanks, and trains going in with American pilots and American crews. Just understand, don't kid yourself. No matter what you all say, that's called World War III. Oh, but now he's sending him tanks. Okay, good job. Good job there, President Biden. In Washington Free Beacon, remember they were talking about not having Ilhan Omar on the Foreign Relations Committee in the House? And Matt Gaetz, or whatever, of all people, saying that he's undecided on whether he will vote to boot anti-Semitic Democratic Ilhan Omar off the House Foreign Affairs Committee, telling Newsmax that he's a fan of her fierce opposition to neoconservative foreign policy and pointing to her questioning of former State Department official Elliot Abrams as a highlight of her good work on the committee. So that's interesting. That's an interesting thing that Matt Gaetz is saying, well, maybe we should think again about having Ilhan Omar on the committee instead of dumping her. So interesting. So there was an exchange on Newsmax, I think. Was that a Newsmax? Yeah, it was on Newsmax. He's in an interview. Interesting. Chinese companies are buying American military academies, lawmakers warn. What else of course they are. China's buying everything. Everything in the United States is for sale, and China seems to be the highest bidder. Chinese firms with ties to the Chinese Communist Party have in recent years purchased American military academies that operate military officer training programs. What the fresh hell? So anyway, you can read that one. And let's see. I have a couple left. Scientists make a shocking discovery under, what the hell did I do there? There we go. Under Antarctica's ice. So apparently they found a meteor made up of material potentially billions of years old. One of the rarest and most exciting finds, according to the BBC. More than 45,000 asteroids have been found in Antarctica over the last 100 years. But this most recent rock is special. Likely originating from an asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, the asteroid was discovered during an 11-day expedition by a group of international researchers, the Chicago Tribune noted. The team used specialized data and imaging tools to identify areas under the Antarctic ice where meteorites have landed throughout history. Just do me a favor, scientists. Don't extract any biological matter that may be frozen to that meteor and try to revive it. We don't need any more. We don't need any more special. We don't need any more special creatures or pandemics. Anyway, you can read about that in Daily Caller. Then there's the last few things on here I'm not going to get to, other than what I'm going to finish with. You can read the other ones on your own time, but this is the one that I wanted to highlight. A vegan activist gets head stuck in a slaughter line at a factory farm and is nearly decapitated. Apparently, animal rights protesters trespassed.
Video sent to ABC7 by activist group Direct Action Everywhere shows terrified protesters crying out for help as a duck slaughter processing line that they're chained to starts to move.
We need to stop this right now!
Panic set in when the machine started pulling animal rights activist Thomas Chang's head and neck into a pool.
Almost decapitating.
Well, in the immortal words of Herbert Hoover, fuck around and find out. That is, no, look, I'm glad. I'm so glad. That was last year. That's okay. Whenever that was, it's still funny. And I just say, I'm glad that the person was not decapitated, but you got to think twice before you do some stupid shit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. I'm way over time and I'm late, so I'm going to go. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Please do me a favor, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Share this stream after the show. Put a comment in the comment section if you're just getting here. Tell me what you think about that activist almost getting almost getting head decapitated. And if you want to sponsor the show 24 hours a day, you can go to pdognight.live right up. That's right there. You can pdognight.live or during the show, Super Chats and Venmo Cash App in the description. Gotta go. Thanks, everybody. I'm going abrupt, just like Hex and Hammer Sticks guy. I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.